So, it's the summer anime season and I wanted to cover a handful of shows I'm watching right now. It's a mixed bag of action, fantasy, romance, comedy, and of course, whatever the fuck Oshi No Ko is. So today, we're going to highlight a few and let you know what I think about them so far and whether I'm going to keep watching them, drop them, or maybe put them on ice. Anyway, that's enough of an intro. Let's get right into it. Despite its long isekai-esque title, this is your bog standard fantasy of the power variation. The twist is that the main character isn't a high schooler. Shit, he isn't even college age. No, our boy is in the 30+ club. The gist of the story? A guy starts training to be an adventurer at the ripe old age of 30. The rules of this world dictate that you must build your magic reserves while you're young, or they'll never grow. Our hero links up with this S-class party that sees the potential in him and puts him through this 2-year training straight from hell. He goes in looking like your manager from Best Buy and comes out looking like Scott fucking Steiner.
But I'm a genetic freak and I'm not normal, so you got 25% at best at beat me.
Now, of course, he doesn't realize he's OP because anime logic, so he feigns ignorance for the first couple of episodes and second guesses himself a lot. Thankfully, by episode 4, that shaky confidence gets thrown out the window, well, at least for now, but he does acknowledge the fact that he's actually pretty fucking strong. Overall, it's a fun fantasy romp with very little depth. It's just a straight up, overpowered protag fucking shit up in this power fantasy type show. Add a dash of harem and a splash of character development, and you get a pretty mid fantasy show that you'll probably forget after you watch. Still, I recommend it for those who have a power fantasy kink. Okay. I'm not going to bury the lead, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it and talk about the undisputed king of the 2023 season, Oshi No Ko. It was a really quick turnaround for season 2, and it's clear the studio knew they had a surefire hit on their hands. No shocking plot twist so far this season as we settle into a real cadence with a deep dive into the Japanese entertainment industry. It somehow remains some of the most compelling melodrama on my screen. Aqua and Best Girl Arima take center stage with Akane nipping at her heels for that Best Girl title. Yes, I'm conflicted because I swear I like Akane more and more every time she shows up on the screen. The Tokyo Blade stuff is very, very good so far, but to the detriment of all the B Kamachi squared momentum we built at the end of season 1. As a result, Ruby and Mim-chan kinda take a backseat so far this season. Still, this manga artist versus the Tokyo Blade play mini arc has got me in a vice grip right now, waiting to see how it's going to play out. Plus, we've already seen a glimpse of Arima firing on all cylinders, showing out with her acting. We've also seen Akane struggle a bit and getting to see their rivalry play out with Aqua at the center of it. Here's hoping that we get both more B Kamachi 2 as well as a breakout performance from Aqua in this Tokyo Blade stage play, while also peeling back a few more layers in the search for their father. Definitely watch this one. Bringing a whole new meaning to batshit crazy, Mayonaka Punch is a vampire girl love series that focuses on one thing. What does a canceled YouTuber do after getting canceled? Well, in the case of our MC, Makeine, after punching one of her YouTube partners in the face during a live stream, she gets kicked out of the group and ostracized on YouTube. Now, most creators would have buried their hands in the sand, and to a degree, Makeine does do this, but she also wants revenge in the worst way and in the only way she knows how, to start a new YouTube page and reach 1 million subs before her former girl group does. Makeine, however, is struggling to come up with some fresh ideas, plus no one wants to work with her after being nearly run off the platform. It's not until she meets this vampire known as Liv, who herself had been seeing Makeine in her dreams, that she comes up with an idea. Let's record these vampires doing cool shit. Now, I'd be doing you a disservice if I gave you much more than that, because you should definitely watch this. It's fun and well animated with unique characters. It has a fun and refreshing premise with tons of hilarious hijinks. You can tell there's a lot of heart in this series, and it feels like the story is really driving us towards some great character development, wrapped in some really hilarious situations and fantastic animation. Shoshimin is a show that I find myself asking week after week, what the fuck is this show about? Now, the show itself follows Kabato and his friend Yuki as they attempt to live ordinary lives. On its face, it feels like this charming and beautiful slice of life story with a few everyday mystery elements mixed in. They've been doing this mystery of the week thing where Kabato and Yuki solve these small mysteries happening around them. The first one was this female classmate's bag going missing. The second one was how their friend Kengo made the perfect hot chocolate only using 3 cups and a spoon. And the most recent is how a classmate cheated on a test. Now, all of these things sound simple and mundane, but it's the complicated ways that these mysteries unfold that show how Kabato is actually really smart when it comes to solving these mysteries. There's also kind of this underlying thing between Kabato and Kengo where Kengo keeps pressing him, saying that you're not really the same person that you were before. And so it leads to a lot of questions. Well, who was he before and why is he trying to be ordinary now? But moreover, it really does seem like there's this underlying mystery hiding in the background that started with Yuki's bike getting stolen by another classmate. Now we get to watch these pieces slowly come together kind of in the background of the main story going on for that particular week, with a tiny bit being revealed episode by episode and kind of the one string of DNA connecting each episode. Now, in all the reviews I've watched, I really haven't seen very many people mention this thing going on in the background. It does really feel like they're building to a larger mystery around this classmate, his group of friends, Yuki's bike being stolen, and kind of what's happening with that. With that said, even if there's not a larger mystery going on, I still really like these characters. I especially love the voice acting, and I love the atmosphere and animation. So I think I'm gonna ride this one out. With that said, if you aren't here for the slow burn slice of life, and since I can't promise you that it won't be more than that, I can't recommend this one until the season's run is completed. Go ahead and put this one on ice until we actually figure out what this show is really about. Being that I'm a romance and especially rom-com ass dude, Pseudo Harem slid right into the lineup with little to no effort. The story, and I use that very loosely, revolves around 2 high schoolers in the drama club. E.g., our main character possesses little to no acting ability and is regulated to working on props, while Ren, on the other hand, is an excellent actor. When E.G. muses to Ren that he'd love to have a harem like the manga he reads, Ren puts those acting chops to work, creating different characters she can play as during their conversations. And that's pretty much the twist. Ren's voice actor flexing for 20 plus minutes. And my goodness, does she absolutely kill in the role. Pseudo Harem is largely a really sweet slice of life with some light will they won't they elements to it. The episodes are more like shorts compiled together, so it makes everything feel really snappy and you never really linger on any moments too long. E.G. and Ren's interactions are absolutely adorable and will definitely send you to the doctor for a diabetes check. The characters are very likable and the animation is serviceable. Just some good wholesome fun with some incredible voice acting. It's worth a watch if you're a fan of the genre, just don't expect anything groundbreaking here. Now, continuing on with the rom-com theme, we have the rom-com of the season. Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. The gist? Half Russian, half Japanese transfer student Alya is popular and prickly, very self-serious and very ambitious. She's got no time for some lazy-ass classmate, and she makes that known to everyone, including our MC, the certified slacker boy Kuz. But here comes the anime catch. Alya actually has a thing for Kuz and lets him know it regularly in Russian. Now, most people wouldn't have a clue what she's saying, however, Kuz does. That's right, double twist. You see, Kuz learned Russian because he had a crush on a girl back in the day, so he knows exactly what she's saying. Now, of course, once again, anime logic, he's not gonna let her know he knows what she's saying, so hijinks ensue. So what did I think about it? It's solid. The animation is great and the voice actors are killing it. The story just leaves me wanting more, I guess. It's so similar to the person I like can read my mind trope, and it's supposed to be the pinnacle of that, but it just kind of falls short to me for some reason. Now, I'll probably stick with it because I was really excited for this one to drop, so I'm just gonna cross my fingers and hope it gets better. But with that said, I think I'm in the minority on this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and say watch it because people who I think are smarter than me seem to love it. Ah, yes, the isekai trash that is Failure Frame. I'd previously been introduced to this one through those YouTube manga recaps, and from what I knew, it seemed like it would make for a pretty good series. It follows our MC, Tuka, who's been isekai to another world along with his fellow classmates. They've been summoned by the goddess of this new world to help save them from an impeding demonic threat, and each student has been blessed with otherworldly powers from that same goddess. The blessings are a mixed bag though. Some get S rank abilities while some get F rank abilities and everything in between. Tuka ends up getting what everyone thinks is the lowest of the low, the ability to afflict status ailments such as poison and paralysis, which are allegedly ineffective in this world. The goddess casts him out, nothing new for Tuka, who's been ostracized and abused pretty much his entire life. He's essentially sent to a dungeon to die, but on his way out, he vows revenge not only on the goddess, but also the classmates who celebrated his exile. Little do they know, Tuka is actually the OP protagonist of this story, and his useless skill is actually very effective. So what did I think of this one? Well, disappointment doesn't begin to describe how I felt about it. The animation outside of the first episode has not been good, especially these random ass 3D models that they use for some of the characters. It's really jarring how it switches from a more traditional character model to this atrocious 3D model. Episode 2 was especially egregious in my opinion. It all really takes me out of the story, and honestly, I'll probably drop this one until the season ends and binge it. So you're a VTuber going through the motions playing a pure character, but you're really not getting any traction. Then the worst thing possible happens. After a stream one night, you forget to turn your stream off, and you proceed to get shit-faced while talking about how you want to fuck some of your fellow VTubers, gooning and just general debauchery. Then you pass out like you do every night, except you find out the next morning that you forgot to turn your stream off. Every content creator's nightmare, I know, but what if this actually turns you into a VTuber legend? Well, this is exactly what happens to our MC and former wage slave turned VTuber Yuki Tanaka. This turns out to be just the breakthrough she's been looking for. As a result, she gets to cut loose and be the real her, all while getting paid to get sauced while crashing out on stream. This is another girl love series with a roster of really dope and really funny supporting characters that makes the series way more entertaining than it has any business being. It's definitely a very niche series that you'll either love or hate, but I would recommend at least giving it one episode because, at least in my opinion, this shit is hilarious as hell. Along with the elusive samurai, Wistoria Wand and Sword is the series of the season. We follow Will, an S-tier swordsman and aspiring mage who just so happens to have no magical ability at all. He is working his ass off to become a Magia Vander, one of the very few magicians who sit at the top of the Wizard's Tower. This ambition is fueled by the infamous anime MacGuffin, his childhood friend Elfaria. She's a prodigy, the youngest to ever reach Magia Vander, and a really tough act to follow. Will is surrounded by haters everywhere looking to make an example out of this talentless mage. Despite the constant opposition, Will continues to find ways to pass his classes and collect the credits he needs to graduate to the next level. Will is a very humble and likable character who really shines when he gets a chance to show off his sword skills. Would I recommend this one? Hell yeah! It's the action romp that'll have you on the edge of your seat, combining fantasy with the classic power of friendship and OP protagonist that doesn't know when to quit. The animation is incredible, and you can tell that the team is really trying to put together a great show. It hits a lot of great story beats while maintaining a really good pace. It does, however, seem like it's being overshadowed by the aforementioned elusive samurai, but there's room in your heart and your schedule for this one too. So that's it, my current watch list for the summer season. There are a few I left off like I Parry Everything, Plus Size Elf, 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, and a few more that I just didn't have time to cover in this one. I'll probably be doing a review of some of the shows we talked about today after they complete their run this season, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how they unfold. Now, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and click that like button down at the bottom, and if you're really feeling generous, go ahead and click that subscribe button to help me grow this channel and join me on my anime and manga journey. Let's talk about all the things we like, the things we don't, and everything in between. And also, if you're into fashion, go ahead and check out my main channel, Crooked Mark. That's where I talk about like my other passion, which is fashion. Anyway, until next time, peace.